I'm Dan Davis. I volunteer in the Upward Recreation Ministries as a coach. I also volunteer in the children's ministry, and I partnered with Chad Dietz in the youth ministry as a senior boys counselor.
My name is David Vick. I volunteer with Rec Ministries for about 10 years now, and that's led me into youth ministries and teaching kindergarten Sunday school classes.
My name is Edmund Ort, and I volunteer in the Upward Recreational Ministries and the Children's Ministries.
My name is David Jackson, and I volunteer in the Upward Ministries and the Children's Ministries.
My name is Mike Overton. I volunteer in Stephen Ministry and Methodist Men and Youth Ministry.
My name's Mike, and I volunteer for the 8th grade Sunday school in the morning.
It probably started with my father's involvement in my brother's life and my life as we were kids. We never participated in an activity where he and my mom weren't involved. So I learned how important it was to have an active dad. I've also had, through some extended family experiences, insight into the impact on young men and women when there's not an active dad in their lives, and just so meaningful to me. My dad was very involved in my brother's life and my life, to the point where we were embarrassed when he was at our high school sports practices. But as we got older, we realized how meaningful that was, and since we've lost him, it's become even more meaningful. I certainly want to make sure I'm doing God's work and being involved in the lives of my children and other children.
I've got kids that are into sports, so of course I want to be involved in their lives, and started out that way. Even though it's pretty intimidating to get out there and be a role model for other people's children and such, I had a lot of good support here with the church to follow that, and it's led to some great things.
Well, it all started with wanting to be involved in my children's, recreational part of it. And I showed up to be assistant coach, and David Gross smiled and said, "I really need head coaches." So I said, okay, sign me up for a head coach. And then that led to meeting people on the field, and actually I was kind of pushed into the children's ministry. Thank you, David Jackson. And and it's just been a blessing. I started out just observing and then got involved, and it's been a blessing for the last year.
Well, I started off just wanting to serve the church, and I just wanted to find a place to serve, and I went to one of our gatherings we had about 7 or 8 years ago in Conley. Hobby just kind of pushed me and looked at me and said, "You're a coach." And so I became an Upward coach, and then I just found myself being involved with children, and my kids grew up in it, and it led me to really move into children's ministry. And I have a passion for men serving in ministry, because I think there's way too many children out there without fathers, and I think we need to have good male role models out there for them.
But in all cases, I got asked by somebody to volunteer, and with the youth, the church has meant so much to my family and my daughter that I just felt it was my time to be involved, and I think it's our responsibility as adults to help guide the youth, and I just think God calls us to do that.
Well, for one, the kids need us. The kids need more adult figures to come and to stand up and to volunteer. And I needed Sunday school as much as the kids did. Role models are extremely important, and especially the male role models are important.